What is going on, Sports Wars? We're here. We're live. There was a hell of a UFC 264 last night that ended a lot quicker than maybe people thought it would. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Conor McGregor, all the stuff he said to Dustin Poirier after the fight was over. Team USA loses in embarrassing fashion to Nigeria. We're going to talk about ESPN drama, and there's also a lot of actual sports stuff to talk about. So before we get into all of that, John Matrix, how are you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. Went to bed last night, and I wake up this morning, and the world I'm just in shock by Team USA, but they deserve this. They absolutely deserve this. Greg Wokovich deserves this. What an embarrassing loss.
The last two times they played Nigeria, they beat them by 44 points and 83 points, I believe.
Wow.
And this time they lose. So we'll get into that and just how funny it is. But Jeremy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Got to give a big shout out to Ryan for his overnight video. That video was crazy in terms of the timing, and that's kind of what it's about sometimes in sports coverage, is the timing. Ryan got that video out on Conor McGregor quick. It blew up overnight. People were mad, though. A lot of people were mad just because they just wanted to see the video. They were like, I just want to see the video of Conor. I don't care about this asshole talking, which that always happens. But yeah, man, that was a crazy video. But yeah, happy to be here. I'm ready to talk about Vegas last night. Dude, like, I really want to get further, like more involved with UFC and MMA, more knowledge on it. And mainly just because of Dana White. You know, I was watching a interview, or I just typed in Joe Rogan and Dana White last night just because I was like trying to, and people were asking, there was a show where he was on where he was, I guess it was his show. Somebody was asking what Dana White was like. He goes, dude, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, do your thing, you know, because it was like, do you worry about like your takes on your show, Joe, and how it's going to affect your stand? He says Dana doesn't give a fuck. And that right there, it's not that we didn't know that, you know what I mean? You've known that for forever of how Dana, you know, carries himself, how he treats himself. And like, dude walked in there with Trump last night. It was awesome. He doesn't care. And we need more people like Dana White. So him alone makes me want to support UFC and just learn more about it. So I'm happy to talk about this Conor McGregor stuff because it's pretty damn interesting last night.
What kind of reception did Trump get? Because the mainstream media is
mostly
saying,
cheers.
Mostly cheers.
Okay, they're saying like, oh, it was mixed. So I wanted to make sure.
Well, I mean, it was like, of course, there's gonna be boos, right? So definitively it was mixed, but there was mostly cheers. You heard some USA chants and stuff like that when he walked in. I would say overall the reception was pretty positive when he came in.
Okay,
yeah, it's just like when he showed up to the to
Army Navy
football. That was he showed up to the Alabama LSU game. Is that what it was years ago? And the crowd just went fucking crazy for him. I mean, obviously there were some boos, you know what I mean? And the other one you're referencing is the Army Navy game, and the fact that Dana White like that just shows. Could you imagine can we imagine a world where Adam Silver walks into arena with Donald Trump for the NBA? No. Can we imagine where Adam Silver in any scenario has a pair of balls, even one ball? No. So, you know, we're always talking about woke sports and bullshit that's going on. You see somebody like Dana White, and it's like, if that guy doesn't make you want to support UFC, then I don't know what would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we obviously, you know, John Bartolo, big friend of the channel. We're going to have him on here at some point so he can argue about Patriots football with Jeremy. But he's big into that community there. He's got a podcast. He's based out of Vegas. He's had a lot of people on his podcast before, a lot of UFC fighters. He's had Dana White on there before. And of course, me is the biggest guest he's ever had. But no, he's awesome, dude. He's got a lot of connections in there. He was there last night. And so, yeah, UFC, there's a lot of good opportunities. I would consider myself a little more than a casual UFC fan. You know, I know a lot of the stuff that's going on. I can talk, you know, pretty well about a lot of it, but I am not the super in-depth guy that's going to know everything and every single fighter that's coming, whether it's the prelims or the main card. But I do enjoy UFC, and one of the things that UFC has done over the last several years is very much promote their personalities. And that's frustrating to some people because it feels almost like WWE sometimes. Like you have to be this big, huge personality and kind of talk yourself into getting a fight, as opposed to maybe going to the dude who's just shutting his mouth, doing his thing. But it has led to some very entertaining rivalries. And Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier 3 was supposed to be this big culmination, this trilogy. We were finally going to get to see the rubber match. And the way it ended was disappointing for a lot of people. But let's get into a couple of these super chats before we hop into that, because you guys sent them before the stream. Blue-Eyed Scorpio, Jeremy loses to Nigeria in Mario Kart.
Oh man, that's good. Right on point right there.
Thank you, Blue-Eyed Scorpio. Gerald Armstrong, for $3, LeBron will be taking his talents to Nigeria. Hey, LeBron got off the hook a little bit because he's not on that Team USA. Kevin Durant got fucking roasted last night.
Rightfully so. Rightfully
after
so.
He got stuffed too. There's a clip out there of him just getting absolutely stuffed by some no-name Nigerian dude. So we'll talk about that. Marquez 17 for $20. You guys are awesome. Team USA was playing like the win was a sure thing. Trump 24 for sure. What do you guys think? Gianna or Paul, or Giannis or Paul? I'm leaning more Giannis. As far as what do you mean?
Yeah,
I guess I don't know quite what you mean by that. If you're saying who do I think is going to win the MVP? It's gonna
Chris
be
Paul, not even
Chris
close
Paul or Devin Booker.
Or Devin Booker.
It'd be Chris Paul or Devin Booker because the Suns are gonna win the finals.
Giannis isn't even in the conversation. He hasn't won a game.
Well, yeah, and it's not often that we're gonna see somebody who doesn't win the finals end up getting the MVP. So Giannis did have a big game, but when Giannis has a big game, the team sucks. Just frankly, the Milwaukee Bucks are better off when Giannis doesn't have a big game. They are better off when they run an offense and they have people like Drew Holiday being active and Chris Middleton being active and aggressive, as opposed to just sitting there and watching Giannis. So that's what I think. I think they should want Giannis to have 20 to 25 points, be really effective on the defensive end, and actually run an offense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's weird to say if the Suns win because it's almost. I mean, again, you have to put that out there because we don't know for sure. But I think, if there's a way Chris Paul can get that MVP, he will. Like in terms of if they can justify giving it to him, in any way, they're going to, because it's kind of more of a sentimental thing. And there's 16 years? Is that what it's been? He's been in the league.
Chris Paul, something like that.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a big deal if he wins it.
Yeah, for sure. And he had a big first game too. We'll see what happens. Bert for $2. Will John be at Gary's 2021 BoomerCon in Vegas?
I just found out about that before the stream.
Yeah, we did mention it to him before the stream. So, he's still got to work it out and see if it's even possible for him. So more to come on that. So, but there's no way to tell you yes or no, or even maybe. He just found out about it. So, yeah,
Drew Holiday. It comes from a meme. I have a buddy. I used to be roommates with him who's from Louisiana, big New Orleans Pelicans fan, and Drew Holiday used to play for them. And I always used to fucking make fun of him because I said, "Who's gonna show up tonight, Drew Holiday or Drew Holiday?" Because Drew was shitty as fuck. That's what I always used to say to him. But speaking of shitty as fuck, what happened at Conor McGregor last night in UFC 264, I don't think is really the ending a lot of people wanted to see. Now, people despise Conor McGregor. People hate Conor McGregor because that is what he has done. He has created this persona around him that makes some people absolutely love him and some people absolutely hate him. But the way that he ended up losing last night, I don't think a lot of people want to see it, especially the people that paid thousands of dollars to go watch UFC for front row tickets to see him lose after breaking his ankle. Was it his leg? I guess we don't actually have confirmation on that yet. But Conor McGregor did lose. Jeremy, I know you saw the reaction, like the sports world reaction when this happened. What were your thoughts on the entire situation?
Overall, like obviously everything, it was shocking. It was tough to watch that moment, but overall, I feel like the vibe I'm getting is that Conor has lost his edge, and people are almost kind of tired of his shtick at this point because now I found it entertaining with what he did after the match. You know what I mean, with the shit talking and everything, but I feel like people were disappointed, and I also feel like people know that there's going to be a fourth fight because they know that the money is there. And I saw some memes about like Dana White's like there'll be a fight until Conor wins or something like that, you know,
well,
like
Dana White.
Money. He's
Dana
the money
White
guy.
did come out last night in the press conference and say there will be a fourth fight if everybody wants it to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Now, from what I heard, oh, go ahead.
Hasn't Conor lost like 3 of his last 4
Yes,
fights?
that's the thing. You know, Conor now with this one, he's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights, and so that has an impact on his draw. How much longer can you promote this guy as this? Now, if he would have won this fight and then gone on and challenged Oliveira for the lightweight title, or then you can have this conversation. Conor's back. Conor is one of the greatest of all time, but right now you can't really say that anymore.
Yeah, and from what I hear, I didn't see the fight, but I hear he was getting pretty roughed up during the fight. So it was pretty much.
I heard that too.
He was back. He was getting
he
dominated
winning
for the most part.
He was. It was definitely a one-sided round. Poirier definitely won the round. He was definitely in control. Got more significant strikes. But it wasn't like oh, there's no way Conor's gonna make it out of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we see things flip on a dime all the time in in combat sports and in UFC. And you know what? It's only gonna take one snap kick, one knee to the face, one spinning elbow to really change things. But instead, what happened? And we are gonna show it a little bit, guys. I'm gonna find.
Go ahead and find that. But one thing I'll say, for me as a person I wouldn't even qualify myself as a casual UFC fan. I mean, I've seen some fights and I'm aware of certain fighters and things like that. But for me, I think Conor McGregor is a pure entertainer, also a very talented fighter. And he pulls the attention. But the problem with him, from what I'm getting, is that the dude has lost so many fights. And he continues to cross the line as to shit talking and entertaining versus kind of going after family. You know what I mean? And he's done this a few times. And that's where like there's a fine line between entertainment, being a perceived badass, and then just continuing to take it way too far. And he's done that again, just like he did previously in other fights with hyping it up, stuff like that. And I think with him losing multiple times now, I think that he's losing his edge right now, and people are turning on him to the point where they just want to see him lose, and they don't have any sympathy for him.
Yeah, and that was the thing when Conor McGregor made his initial run. He talked a lot, but he backed all of it up in the ring. He backed all of it up in the ring, and he talked himself into this fight with Floyd Mayweather, right? This where he just cashed in. He got so much money from that, knowing that he was going to lose, knowing what the situation would be. But that's what he focused on. I do think he lost a little focus on his actual training. I still think the dude has the capability to get back. I think he's fighting probably at a little too heavy weight still. I think he should really go back down to probably flyweight, I think is where he was initially. But here it is. You might be squeamish. I don't know. You might be one of those people who goes, I can't watch this. So we're going to show what happened. Now, this is at the very end, the final seconds of round 1. Again, Dustin had been controlling I don't want to say dominant fight. He'd been controlling the fight definitively that first round. And this was about maybe 10 or 15 seconds left. I think 10 seconds left. And Conor, throws a punch and then steps back and just steps wrong. You can see it right here. Right here. Boom. And goes down. So obviously, whenever an ankle or a foot, whatever part of your bone of your leg touches the floor, it's probably not a good thing.
Probably not a good thing.
Yeah. Probably not a good thing. So
I can't believe that happened. It's just so weird. It's such a freak kind of accident, all things considered. I mean, if this was an NBA player you know, coming down from a dunk. Yeah, okay, like Jordan did this back in the mid '80s. This is how Jordan hurt his ankle.
Dak Prescott is similar too.
Yeah, a football player, you know, putting a juke on or cutting, but just this was such a simple back step, and for him to roll his ankle that much, it's fucking weird, man. That was weird.
Yeah. Someone said you got a dislike for turning your comments off. We don't turn comments off. Don't know what you're talking about. I'd
say just give us a dislike because you're a fucking idiot. Go ahead.
Yeah.
we can't help you be more intelligent. We don't have that power.
Now,
so if it makes you feel better to dislike because you're a fucking idiot, then feel free to do that. It literally doesn't matter to us. Fuck you and your mom.
Now, when it comes to why this happened, there's obviously going to be a lot of speculation. Was it a stress fracture that happened from kicks? Was it from, his kicks getting checked? Was it from something that happened from Poirier during the fight? There's a good possibility of that for sure, rather than, it just randomly happening to a perfectly healthy dude, right? But either way, that is not the way the people want to see this fight end, and that's not the way that I don't think this will end. People are saying Conor should retire. I think he'll probably try to come back from this. But
too much money on the table. He will come back. There's too much money.
And what I think personally from this, we could set the stage where I see the chat. Yeah, I meant featherweight, obviously not flyweight for McGregor. That'd be pretty low for McGregor. But I could see setting a stage for Poirier now, because he's now going to get a title fight. What if Poirier wins the title, and then his next fight would be after Conor McGregor? He's going to have several months to get healed from this and, get back ready to go, 6-8 months, whatever it is. What if that rematch is for the belt? Now, that would be completely undeserved to a dude who's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights, but I can see a scenario when that happens.
Yeah.
And Poirier with a title fight with McGregor.
Well, we live in a world where CM Punk got multiple opportunities in the UFC because of his name and the attention it would bring, and he got the shit beat out of him. Conor McGregor, again, based on everything I've seen, there's no doubt that Dana would give him that shot. You know what I mean? It is no doubt. And again, there's too much money on the table. Conor McGregor, love him, hate him, and he knows what he's doing. He's brilliant at what he's doing. He's got that WWF attitude. He knows how to bring attention to anything he's involved in. He knows how to pre-hype, and he knows how to sell tickets. And I got nothing but respect for that. And yeah, I mean, he's not wrong in that right there. He's not wrong at all.
Yeah, and this is what he said after the match. And I don't know if I've ever seen a dude with a snapped ankle or leg, whatever it was, on the floor of the mat talking as much shit as he was afterwards. But that's what makes him relevant, honestly.
Yeah,
because he is so hated like that. He is truly a heel. He's the heel that WWE wishes they had right now, honestly.
Yes.
Conor McGregor channeled Scarface's Tony Montana after his first post since suffering the leg injury. You need people like me. And I want you guys to hear what he said, because after the fight, he just ramped it up even more. This is Joe Rogan interviewing him. I think he got a splint on at this point, but he's still sitting there. It's got to still be in pain. But this is Conor McGregor.
Obviously stopped in a horrible way. Give us your thoughts on how it was going.
I was boxing the bleeding head off him, kicking the bleeding leg off him. Usual shit doing to close the distance. This is not over. If we have to take this outside with him, it's all outside. We don't give a bollocks.
And like, you know what I mean? And he was not winning this fight, right? He was not winning this first round in any way. Not to say he didn't get any good shots off, whatever, but he was upset that it got called to begin with. But you can't let someone continue on with a broken ankle like that, at least when you're already at the end of a round. But he continues on.
He said that
and Dustin Poirier is still in the ring.
Oh yeah,
now. He's still in the octagon.
And his wife,
which she'll come up in a second.
Yes.
Believes that one of the kicks that he checked is what broke your leg.
There was no check. There was not one of them I checked. Your wife is in me DMs, hey baby, hit me back up and chat you later on. We'll be at the after party, the Win nightclub, baby. You're looking big, you little hoe.
So, right, like he knows exactly what he's doing, and she was in the ring too. She was flipping him off.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I think she flipped him off before he said this. Actually, if I could piece some of the video together. But either way, he's going to get called out by the mainstream media and everybody for saying this because he called a woman a hoe and a bitch. How dare you? You can say whatever you want about a dude, but you call a woman a hoe and a bitch. Oh, and that is this type of Jake Paul, Floyd Mayweather, this like take it to the next level, get it personal with family that has been going on the past several years in these ridiculous combat sports events that are dramatized. And that's where this is all coming from.
I mean, I got nothing but respect for Conor and his the grind he's on. He knows what he's doing, and it brings the attention, and he's the most talked about guy maybe of all time in UFC. Is that a crazy statement to make? Is he probably the most prominent name in the history of UFC? From just a marketability standpoint, from a ticket standpoint, from
I think at this point, you would probably have to say that. Obviously you have some of the old time guys that were there that built UFC.
Yeah.
But when it comes to name recognition now, yeah, I mean you have to. And he's a piece of shit what he's saying, right? What he's doing, and he knows it, right?
Yes.
He is leaning into it. He knows what he's doing. He is trying to get you to hate him so that you will watch him get fucked up. Yeah. That's what his whole thing is.
Yeah. Yeah. I respect it.
And I think it continues on here. Yeah.
Again, just think about UFC without Conor McGregor. It's just not the same. It's just not. And the difference between somebody like him and a LeBron James is LeBron James is a piece of shit, but he's always trying to portray himself as this goody juice guys. Conor's not doing that. Conor doesn't give a fuck. Conor's like, yes, I am the heel. I am the bad guy. Fucking hate me. Watch me. LeBron is that, wolf in sheep's clothing that just is trying to portray himself as this great guy when he's really a real piece of shit. Yeah. And Conor's awesome.
And I think that he got lucky in a way that this fight ended like this, because I do think that Poirier was going to win. And if that happened, if he had truly won straight out without this injury happening, I don't know if Conor may be done legacy wise. This, ironically, snapping your ankle on the middle of the mat and talking shit like this, it allows him to continue it on for a while and continue to be relevant because he didn't just straight up lose.
Yeah.
He continues on here though.
Fuck him.
You missed with a punch and step back. Tell us what you felt. Tell us what you thought was going on.
Just the thing had separated and my blade and landed on the wonky leg like Anderson Silva at the time. Similar to that. It's a fucking mad out business.
Listen,
he's got to be like in pain.
He's got to be.
Joe Rogan just like sitting down next to him. It's just so funny. I saw a meme that's like, Conor's like, I don't know what happened to me ankle, and Joe Rogan's like, have you tried DMT?
I'll fight for as long as it lasted. I'm sure you'll be back, and I'm sure you're gonna want Dustin again, and I'm sure he'll oblige you. Yeah.
So there you go. There's Conor McGregor after that happened. Motherfuckers playing 3,000 a seat to see Conor break his ankle after one round. Yeah.
Oh man.
Ooh,
that's the
tough,
worst
dude.
one right
Fuck.
there.
It was ironic that Conor said this before the fight.
Yeah.
Do you think he's changed?
I don't give a fuck about him, to be honest. It's just how I am. He's a corpse, a dead body. A blank face. It's going to get his ass whooped and took out on a stretcher. Hey, out on a stretcher. This man is going.
That is great. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he's that meme. Yeah. But that's, you know, people love to hate Conor McGregor, and that's why this will happen again if everybody wants it to happen again. And I think that Dustin will Roger up to it in a second, because I think he knows that he can beat him again. Like, I really think he's very confident about that. They've fought so many times now, and Poirier looks really fucking good. And when you look at his last 10 fights, he's on a fucking roll. He deserves this title shot. It'll be interesting what happens with Dustin Poirier. That's one of the things we're not talking about enough in this, because
you should show his post-fight. You show his post-fight interview. It was really good. And he definitely represented himself really well, all things considered. And because I watched that. I watched his post-fight interview. I watched Conor's last night, and I was just like, man, Conor really does not mind the fucking heel roll. My God. I mean, he's just sitting over there. And then Dustin was just like, yo, hey, man, I hope he makes it home to his family, tonight and all that. He's just
well, it's easy, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is one thing.
He did call him a piece of trash or something like that, though. He did.
Yeah, here you go.
This is a very strange fight in that the first fight, there was all this animosity. The second fight, Conor was very friendly to you. But then leading up to this third fight in the last few weeks, he's made things very personal.
Yeah, I can take, like even the trash, like there's no holds bar with the trash talk, right? But murder is something you don't clown around. There's no coming back from that. And this guy was saying he was going to murder me and all kinds of stuff. He was telling me he was going to kill me tomorrow. I'm going to leave here in a coffin. You don't talk like that to people, man. I hope this guy gets home safe to his beautiful family,
That was perfectly played. That was perfectly played.
And
perfectly played.
And that's like, when you look at the shit that Conor McGregor's said and done before, I mean, the dude did throw a fucking dolly through a bus window at Khabib. He did do that. But at the same time, when like the Floyd Mayweather stuff, he would be sitting there. They would be like actually like some potentially like racial insults going after family. Yeah. And then 30 minutes later, they'd be in a private plane together right next to each other on their phones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they knew
they were hyping the fight. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's all about getting paid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I'm wondering if Dustin knows if there's some mutual kind of respect from like the fact that the more you talk shit about me, the more we're gonna make money. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Dustin guy to know. Do you think that that's possible? Where there's kind of like behind the scenes, like, all right, bro, do your thing, talk your shit. Let's get paid.
Like Dustin Poirier's always been this dude, right? He's never been different than that, at least that I've seen. And it's not like I've been a huge Dustin Poirier fan, but just like I've never seen him really get too into it. So I think this just might be genuinely him. But at the same time, like Conor makes it easy, makes it really easy for somebody else to take that role.
Right.
So that's why Conor McGregor says you need people like me. And you do.
Yeah.
So there were other fights too. Greg Hardy got his ass knocked out, which is great. Greg Hardy, it's been interesting a road for him in the UFC. They're obviously going to push him because he's a big name, former NFL guy, but he's also only used to fighting women who are half his size. So when it comes to an actual opponent, Greg Hardy does have a little bit of problems, and he absolutely got his ass beat. But let's get to a couple of these super chats. Jason Gaines for 2. Uche, who is Nigerian, was happy that Nigeria won. I'm sure he was.
He was. He was talking about it on Twitter.
Mick Walsh for €2. Wonder if LaChina was at the CCP 100th birthday bash.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm just happy that LeBron's so irrelevant that we don't talk about him that much unless we're roasting him. I mean, he is such a, he's not prominent in NBA playoffs, which makes them substantially better. And then we get to compare someone like Conor McGregor to LeBron, and it just continues to show. Like I would respect LeBron more if he would just own the fact that he's a hated piece of shit and he's not a good person. Just own it, like Conor does. Just own it. And I was like, all right, cool. This makes it even more interesting now.
He's not even good at that. Remember when he went down to Miami and he's like, I'll be the heel if you want me to be.
LeBron's just a piece of garbage.
People hate him more. People hate him more.
Irrelevant.
People hate him more now that he's like trying to be a good guy.
Yeah.
than they did when he was trying to be a bad guy.
Yep.
Mike Hill for 5. Is the Braves season over with after the Acuna season-ending injury? Yeah, Ronald Acuna tore his ACL. He's out for the season, probably out for 9 to 10 months. Big hit for the Braves right before the All-Star break. I'm not going to say his season's over. Acuna is a fucking massive piece of what they're doing. But at the same time, in baseball, 9 guys on the field. Some other guys can step up. We'll see what happens. And there's always the trade deadline. So they could add another piece. They could add another bat. But it's tough to replace Ronald Acuna. But I do not think their season is over, however. Be interesting to see. Jason Gaines for $5. I enjoyed seeing Greg Hardy, the wife beater, get destroyed last night. Also, as a Braves fan, it sucks that Ronald Acuna tore his ACL. Yes, it does. It sucks. You hate to see that happen to anybody. I'll never forget when Kyle Schwarber, the 3rd or 4th game of the year for the Cubs in 2016, tore his ACL, and he came back for the World Series. That was fucking ridiculous. A dude who is legitimately like still recovering from an ACL tear, contributing in the World Series as a hitter. It was fucking nuts. Magical.
Did ESPN never mention that Trump was at the fight last night? That's funny. If somebody just asked that in the chat, that's pretty funny if that's the case.
To be fair, he didn't walk in until probably about 15 or 20 minutes before.
Yeah. But if Obama would have walked in, they would have been like, "Oh, former President Obama's here." You know,
probably.
They would have made a big deal of it. They would have absolutely made a big deal of it.
Yeah. Let's see, Mega Mister for. Oh, sorry. I'll read this one first. It says Mega Mister for $5. I'm not a Conor McGregor fan, but I feel bad for his ankle hurting because injuries are not to cheer for or laugh at. # get well soon, McGregor. Yeah, and obviously the question will be, was that a result of something that happened in the fight, right? Was it a kick that got checked? Was it something that happened? Was it because Poirier? And the answer is probably, right? Probably was a contributing factor, but still the fact that a dude steps backwards and it breaks, that's not a way you want to see a fight end. That's why there will be a 4th one if they want it. Mix M Tax Shark for 2. The Black Knight from Monty Python. Yeah, it's just a flesh wound. It was basically Conor McGregor last night. I'll bite your legs off. Mike Hill for 5. I haven't watched UFC since Ronda Rousey left. I would, because you're not missing anything. The fact that Ronda Rousey's gone.
Ronda Rousey was trash.
Yeah,
I mean, I got caught up in that hype. You know what I mean? But it's just wanting to see what was going on next. Because I mean, ESPN just hyped her beyond belief. You know what I mean? And it was not for the right reasons. I mean, so but it was crazy how irrelevant she became so quickly and how high up the media built her.
Well, she was so mentally weak. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, and not saying it's easy, but like when she's like, I lost a fight and all I wanted to do was like have my boyfriend's babies. It's like,
she was
all
never
right,
the same after she got knocked out.
Yeah, you're not built for it, obviously. But she wasn't a draw at WWE. It just did not work out. People saying Thug Rose. Yeah, Rose Namajunas is far more entertaining to me in the ring. Than ran a better story than Ronda was. I mean, shout out to what she did. She went on a tear. Like Ronda Rousey went on a tear for a while, and she was, the way they were able to promote her, she was must watch. And it was interesting. Adrian Alvarez for $25. Yo, when is Tugs doing Sports Wars to talk hockey? Thank you, Adrian Alvarez. Yeah, we had the Stanley Cup Finals. Tampa Bay Lightning repeat as Stanley Cup champions. And that's been a big discussion between Jeremy and myself about kind of getting ready for next year and bringing some more people on to do hockey.
Yeah, the whole thing is Tugs obviously has been part of the Geeks Gamers team for a long time. She's not really she hasn't really developed a YouTube channel. So she's not really a YouTuber. So we wanted to make sure that we prepare her. So we didn't want to just throw her in right there. It's the tail end of the hockey season. You know what I mean? It's more so like building up and getting ready for next season. We thought about maybe having her, record a video or two, but just want to get her comfortable and everything. It will happen. I mean, Tugs is part of Geeks and Gamers, and she's going to be on the Sports Wars channel. You guys will be seeing her in the near future. And she also follows NFL and things like that. So she's going to be here to talk about more than just hockey.
Yeah, and it would have been like, it would have been really fucking tossing someone into the deep end to be like, oh, Stanley Cup Finals. Go ahead and make your introduction to the channel. You know what I mean? So we're going to be far more prepared. We have a lot of things coming, guys. Sports Wars. As we saw last night, if we hop on top of stuff, Sports Wars can dominate. The Sports Wars can be a very big thing. And whether it comes to sports gambling, whether it comes to fantasy football, whether it comes to hockey in the future, we want to get more involved in different things. It's going to require more people being a part of it because we just can't, we just can't do it with all the stuff we have going on by ourselves. So, this is a big channel and a big platform, and we got to continue to grow it. So you will see hockey on this channel in the future. You will see fantasy football, all these things, and we'll work it out, and it'll be good.
I see somebody that says, I don't watch sports. I'm here for Mario Kart.
Yeah, college football. Someone said college football starting up soon, and
that's my thing. College football and NFL. That's what my focus will be on. But we've got a lot
training camp in a couple of weeks.
I'm so excited for NFL season because and even college football season, just because the crowds are going to be back. Fans are going to be back in stadiums for the most part, unless you're in California, which they don't even play college football in California anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm excited to see fans back in stadiums and hear that eruption when something goes down. Unlike last year with the fake crowd noise piped in, that was so fucking embarrassing.
Weird.
Yeah, it was. It was very weird.
We'll see how it goes. It's some interesting storylines between Deshaun Watson. What the fuck is his status? Right? What's the NFL going to do? Is he's still in this contract dispute? Who has any idea? The MLB comes down immediately. An accusation against Trevor Bauer by one person. The MLB comes down immediately, puts him on the he can't play list. Where the NFL's done nothing. Now, personally, I think that if accusations like that happen, they should continue playing. Let the fucking police sort it out. Well, I don't think that the NFL, just because someone gets accused of something, should be getting involved in these investigations. Let it get handled the way that it should get handled. But they have set this precedent where they do these things. They get involved. They are the ones, the arbiters of morality. So if you're going to do that, why are you so fucking quiet on Deshaun Watson with these 22 people, whatever the hell it is?
It started with Ben Roethlisberger. Roger Goodell came in and he suspended Roethlisberger for 6 games. So, I think 2009 or something like that, and it's never been the same since.
Nope. But but there's no consistency as to how they carry the shit out.
Right. I'm shocked the NFL has remained silent on Deshaun Watson. According to reports, Goodell hasn't even interviewed or talked to Deshaun Watson.
Well, the narrative's much different now, what the NFL is trying to do and what they're trying to push for and the optics they're trying to push. 5 years ago, they would have cared far more about the accusation of one of their players doing this to women because domestic violence was all the rage. We saw Ray Rice was made an example of, right? It was all the rage to do this shit. But now it's changed a little bit. Now they're very much about Black Lives Matter. That is the flavor of the week for the NFL. So they're going to try to protect Deshaun Watson. That's what I think. That's what I think is going on.
And this is why identity politics is such a joke, because there's no consistency as to how any of it's carried out. And you make again, nobody believes when you get up there and you talk about these causes that you're for. Nobody believes that because we know you're full of shit because it's all circumstantial. It's all circumstantial as to whatever you're trying to project that week.
Yeah. I mean, Deshaun Watson is getting away with black privilege. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
John said that. I think. John said that.
Well, I can say that.
So he's okay. No, but it's true. It is true.
It is true.
But you know what it more so is? It's because the circumstances and the narrative that can either be built or not built around it, because they're not worried about actual facts. They're not worried about you know, again, they're not worried about respecting women and believing all women. Nobody believed that for one fucking second. Believe all women bullshit. Believe all women unless, you know, respect all women unless it's just fuck you, Roger Goodell. Fuck you straight to hell, you piece of shit. That's why I'm so glad Barstool kept, you know, embarrassing him. And Dave won that fucking dinner or whatever it was, and they rejected it. So good.
And yeah, AES is not saying Watson was the smartest, but this is group revenge. Yeah, like you can't just accept everything at face value, right? These accusations, they need like to be properly gone through. But the NFL has not done that in recent years. They have taken this fucking immediate action no matter what. Even like I think that Ray Rice was such a big mistake for Roger Goodell. I think that a 1-game suspension was probably a little bit of a mistake maybe for what happened, but then after a couple people reacted to something that got out there, once the video got out there, then you take it to a whole season. That is showing that you're being manipulated by public opinion instead of doing what's right and standing by what's right and what your rules supposedly are. That was fucking ridiculous. And that was basically a death sentence for Ray Rice when it was all said and done. And like the cops weren't involved because they were fucking drunk. She spit on him and he did that, you know, not saying anybody was in the right, but it doesn't deserve to get suspended for an entire season from the NFL, in my opinion, especially when the family doesn't want anything to happen. So you've shown inconsistency with these things over time. So it's bullshit. We got Lethal Lightning in the chat for Australian $10. Australian cricket players taking a knee and getting demolished on the field. All who kneel in a Commonwealth sport should be fired on the spot, and Warner should be spat on in public.
Did that happen?
Yeah, a couple Australian players took a knee during the anthem, and then they got beat by, like, I don't know, Trinidad and Tobago or some fucking little country. I don't know. I don't know who it was. Yesterday, I saw Lethal. Oh. Lethal was just spamming Twitter. I responded. Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. It was just all cricket shit. But yeah, there was some Australian players that took a knee.
We should have Lethal make a sports video about it.
I'm gonna tell you down about that. Maybe he can make a video on it.
Give the down arrow and everything like that to the thumbnail. Cricket ratings drop 65% because players kneel.
That's what we need. Yeah. Zeke Elliott, 6 games for an accusation with no charges. Exactly. Lethal says he'll do it.
Do it, Lethal.
I see Benny.
Talk about the TV ratings. What's up, Benny? Talk about the TV ratings dropping.
Russellmania for $10 says, I respect the trash talk game, but Conor is just a piece of shit. Only his delusional fanboys are still defending his character and his fighting ability. It's like Jeremy with Tebow. Thank you, Russellmania. Chris Duran for 2. Tampa Bay back to back. Yeah, you know, Tom Brady announces he's going to Tampa. They win a Stanley Cup. Then he wins a Super Bowl. Then they win another Stanley Cup. And they made it to the World Series.
Yeah,
it's the Brady. Yeah. It's the Brady effect.
It's the Brady effect, man. Greatness follows this man wherever he goes. So, it's crazy. It is crazy what's happening in Tampa Bay. And I expect that to continue on this year with the NFL. I fully expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be very relevant. Probably going to get the #1 seed in the NFC, and then, you know, I mean, their biggest competition is Green Bay, which has a lot of questions around it right now.
Nobody knows what's going on with Rodgers.
So, he's coming back. He's coming back. Like Aaron Rodgers. I meant to make a video about this, but I just got so busy. The match took place between Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and there were so many jokes about Aaron Rodgers and his status at Green Bay. He's like, I'm over here doing research. This is the Packers quarterback. Well, I mean, I think he's going to be the starting quarterback. I guess we don't really know. Like, there were so many jokes and everything about Aaron Rodgers' future as the Packers quarterback. Mm-hmm. If things were actually as bad, right? If things were actually as bad between them as it seemed, and he wasn't going back, I feel like Aaron Rodgers would have said something like before that happened, just be like, hey guys, I know there's a lot of stuff going on. Can we please just make this off limits? Like, just what you would do, I feel like, if it were really that serious. But no, they joked around about it. Aaron Rodgers gets put on the spot, asked questions. He just dances around it playfully, knowing that he's coming back. I think all of this was just to send a message. He understands he doesn't really have any options, and that it's to send a message to the fans of Green Bay and everyone else to try to make a statement about his legacy and say, I could have been one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but this is what I was dealing with. This is the organization. I think it's him just putting a stamp on that in what may be the last year or two of his career. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, me and you talked about that. I think you're probably spot on. It's still interesting because there's just been so much drama surrounding him in Green Bay for so many years now. And but I would tend to think you're right. I think we will see him back in Green Bay this year. I don't think he retires, and I can't see him playing anywhere else. So I think we'll see him back.
You know, like, you won the fucking NFL MVP. You got to the NFC title game. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, honestly, like, I get everybody wants more. Everybody wants more. But you have enough that you were damn close. You were damn close last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure anybody that watches this channel knows I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I think he's overrated. And again, overrated doesn't mean bad. He is still a fantastic quarterback. He is still one of the most talented, if not the most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen. But when I say he's overrated, I mean, he's never been better than Tom Brady. He's never been better than Tom Brady.
The
Even
media
at Brady,
jealousy of Brady has made Aaron Rodgers elevated more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Brady has now been through Peyton Manning was better than Tom Brady according to the media. Oh, Aaron Rodgers was better than Tom Brady according to now Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. And guess what? He's beat all these motherfuckers. He's 43 years old. He's beat every single quarterback that they have lined up to claim that was better than him. So that's why I say Aaron Rodgers is overrated. I also think Aaron Rodgers is his own worst enemy because he's not a good leader. His teammates don't rally around him.
He doesn't have
when they lead the moments. Team. They absolutely do. So I think there's a lot. Aaron Rodgers brings most of his problems to himself. Like it's his fault. These are self-induced.
He never takes responsibility.
Never.
So.
Yeah. A Money Wilson for $5. NA Gold Cup started yesterday as Eurofinals today. Mexico 0-0 draw is basic loss. Mexico had best player carted off field in the hospital too. You're talking about the North American Gold Cup. You're talking about soccer. I know that much. I do know that there's a big fucking the Euro final that people that like soccer are very excited about it. People in Europe are very excited about it. I don't know too much about it, to be honest.
I don't either.
But,
I don't either.
I know Italy's in the final.
Yeah, I know our very own Krista Nova is actually paying attention to it. She was actually texting me about that this morning about I guess Go Italy and all that. And I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about. Like I have no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah, England versus Italy. Yeah, England versus Italy.
So
I'll be rooting for England. Fuck
maybe
Italy.
I imagine Krista and Tugs making a Sports Horse video.
About that. Might as well. All right, but one thing we got to talk about is this embarrassment that happened for the U.S. men's basketball team.
How far we have fallen from the dream team, man. Oh my gosh.
So this was Adrian Wojnarowski. Yeah, this is Adrian Wojnarowski tweeting out just a few seconds left in this game that, you know, everybody kind of no one cared about this game because it wasn't anything. It's essentially an exhibition game to get ready for the Olympics that are in just a few weeks. And Team USA played Team Nigeria. Team Nigeria, who does have Mike Brown as its coach, former head coach, now assistant coach for the Warriors, who took over the Nigerian squad. And he's improved them for sure, but they still should be no match for the Team USA. And Nigeria was leading 90-87 with 13 seconds left. Team USA ball out of timeout. This would be among one of the great upsets in international basketball history. And incredible 90-87 victory for Coach Mike Brown in Nigeria. Reminder for Team USA about how unpredictable FIBA basketball can be. No, that's not what it is. This is a team, and there's a couple factors. Team Nigeria has been practicing for 3 weeks. Team USA has been together for a couple days at this point. But at the same time, you started Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, Kevin Durant. Like you started these all NBA guys, and you lost to Team Nigeria, who was a couple like second and third string NBA players on the roster, like 4 or 5, but really nobody. And it was embarrassing. And of course, this is the meme. This was just all over. Kevin Durant, my next chapter.
So good, man. He will never live that shit down, and he shouldn't live it down.
Yeah.
And by the way, Nigeria is ranked number 22 in the FIBA rankings. They shouldn't even be a threat.
Yeah, that's what it is. This is not a medal contender, right?
No.
This is the last 2 times they've played, they beat them by over 40 points and over 80 points. That's Team Nigeria. Now they gotten a little better? Yeah, sure. But it should not have been a problem. Look at this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Pull up that block on KD, because that was pathetic, dude. Wow, KD. Oh, that's bad.
That is hilarious.
That is so bad.
I would tell you who that guy is, but I have no idea. Some no-name dude.
Ooh. Wow.
Now, can you imagine Michael Jordan getting blocked like that by an international team?
Never.
Kobe was trending yesterday because of this.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
It is very embarrassing.
Damn.
Team USA just lost to Nigeria in basketball. Yes. It's very, very bad. Kevin Durant on his way to apply for Nigerian citizenship.
That's so good.
Oh my goodness.
Kevin Durant has declared he will be joining Nigeria for the remainder of the Olympics. It's rough, man, but it's embarrassing. Yeah, lost by 44 the last time they played, and 83 the time before that.
Skip.
Did LeBron skip Team USA to avoid Nigeria this weekend?
That is
God. And like that's a picture that will always be there, right? Like this no-name dude. This no-name dude who, if you got an email from him, you might think it was a scam. Just fucking swatted the fuck out of Kevin Durant. And we all know that Team USA don't play together the same way that a lot of the other teams will. That is one of the disadvantages they have. But one of the advantages they have is they have the best players in the world.
right.
And Greg Popovich is a part of this. Greg Popovich is one of the reasons this happened. And nothing can make me happier than that, because Greg Popovich is a woke piece of shit at this point. But embarrassing for Team USA. We'll see what happens in the Olympics. Hopefully it will kind of be a wake-up call for them.
Yeah. No, it's just embarrassing, man. We've fallen so far from again, I have vivid memories of the 92 Dream Team and how incredible that was. And you just have so many players that aren't interested for various amount of reasons. You have lack of focus, and it's just embarrassing. The whole thing's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They better win that gold medal now.
Yes. Like, that's rough, man. That really is. Go ahead.
It's pouring down rain again. So if I lose connection, you know why. So it's always raining in fucking Florida. It's all it does here in the last 2 weeks. It's all it fucking does.
That's all it's been doing in Houston.
Jeez.
That's
crazy.
Precious Achua. He's on that. I don't think that's his name. It's if that is Precious, I think it's like Achua. I think he played for Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. If that is, so he is on a roster in the NBA. But I mean, I guess I don't know how many minutes he got, but that's the whole thing. You've got these second and third string NBA players, a couple of them on that team that just embarrassed the best players in the world, which is incredibly. Oh, I think that's how it's spelled. Achua, yeah, Precious Achua. He plays for the Heat. There it is. I think he went to Memphis. Am I right? I thought he went to Memphis for college, but maybe I'm wrong. Where am I? Da Brother Man for $5. Sup Sports Wars. Jeremy, what do you think about 12-team almost set for this college football, and you think Alabama will win it all again?
Is he talking about 12? It's about the playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm of the mindset that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many teams you add to the playoffs. You know what? Then they're going to be like, well, these two teams should have made it. We need to expand it again. Like you're never going to make people happy. I personally like where it's at now, but I mean, the expansion, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I personally never wanted the playoff to begin with. But we got the playoff. So here we are. In terms of Alabama. Yeah. I mean, you look at the recruiting class. I mean, Saban's just, he's going to continue to bring players in. It's a factory at this point for just future NFL talent. Saban has got the structure. He's got the organization. And I'm astonished that I'm living in a time where Alabama is just so incredibly dominant because, again, I grew up an Alabama fan. I remember all the tough years, the Dennis Franchione's, the Mike Price, the Mike Dubose, fucking Mike Shula. But now we're at a point where Alabama is just nonstop every year. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's on that team. As long as Saban's there and he's building up and coaching people up, Alabama's easily going to be the favorite every single year, as they should be. It's truly phenomenal. So yeah, I'm not in favor of expanding the playoff, but we are where we are. But again, I wasn't even in favor of the playoff to begin with because I feel like the SEC is the playoff, and it just, the SEC going through the grind every year, and then you have to add in, a more of a tougher schedule for Alabama or the SEC champion. It just makes it tougher for the SEC. I just say play in the SEC if you really want to have competition. But I mean, that's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
No, it's not realistic. But the point is you have teams like, the Big 12 or the Big 10 or even the Pac, whatever they are now, Pac 12, I think. They don't play any fucking body. ACC, they don't play anybody. Clemson doesn't play any fucking body. They don't play anybody all year long. And you got Alabama, LSU, Florida, Auburn going through the grind all year long, and then to play teams that don't play anybody all year long. So that's my beef on it. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because Bama still wins it.
Well, but we know that these, just like in the NBA, we see the dominant conference, shift over time. That's something we've seen over the course of history in NCAA football. It will change, right? It will inevitably change at some point, right? So I think I have been saying since I was in middle school that there should be a playoff, and I still believe that 8 teams is what it should be, in my opinion. That gives you your Power 5 conferences, right? Every conference winner, boom, 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 you get them in there. Then you have 3 other ones. One of those will definitively go to an SEC team every time. But you're also going to have an opportunity for whether it's your I guess not TCU anymore, but whether it's your like UCF, right? When UCF was going on these runs, but they weren't ever going to really have a chance to make a playoff, right? You have an opportunity for one like dark horse truly like that to be able to play. That's what I've always thought, whether it's a Boise State, whatever it may be. 8 teams, I think, is the number that it should be.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good.
Go ahead. I was against the NASCAR playoff when they created the chase for the cup bullshit. I thought that really hurt the overall sport. Now again, it added a lot of dynamics and it, you tighten the field up for those final 10 races or whatever, but it also gave, overrated people like Jimmy Johnson an opportunity to tie Dale Earnhardt in cups, which he never would have done that if it would have been the old system. But of course, if Earnhardt would have had the benefit of having the chase for the cup, probably would have had 12 championships. So it just changes history. And again, I understand all that, but I don't like change when you have something that's so successful. And college football has continued its success even prior to that playoff change. But we are where we are. And so I think 8 is the sweet spot for sure.
I think college football has only grown since they made the change. Honestly, you know what I mean? It's gotten so fucking massive. And I think that I've been advocating for 8 for a long time. I think that's good because then like there's still going to be people that complain that they don't get a chance. But I think if you make it 8, I don't think anyone truly has a justifiable reason that people will be like, yeah, they should have had a chance, man. But you will get that undefeated non-Power 5 conference team. They'll be able to make it, you know? And I think that's important to have that person get an opportunity so at least you can see what they're doing.
Yeah, I went to an FCS school, and in the 90s, it was a 16-team playoff, but now it's 24. That is a lot of teams playing for a championship, and I believe it just kind of waters it down if you get too many. 8 is good. 12, that may
12
be
to 16 would be okay, but then you do there is actual, you know, scheduling scholar athlete issues, you know, because you have to have a week in between these games, as opposed to a lot of other stuff, and the timing might have to change as well. But they could work around it. The simple fact is that every other college sport, every other professional sport has some sort of playoff system like that.
Right.
I guess maybe soccer leagues are weird in a way, because some of them are based on points over a course of a season, but everybody else has a playoff system and it works really well. So I think it's a good thing that we have this implemented. I think 8's the number they should aim for. Beep, bop, boop for $5. The end of Ghost of Tsushima is how I imagine Ryan will take over G&G Sports Wars. Yeah, I think so. Jeremy and I will have a duel in a circle of pedals, and I will win, and I will not be honorable, and I will let him live out the rest of his life. That's what will happen. Marquez for $5. Let John Matrix talk more. He really knows his stuff. People want more sports talk than your usual political talk.
We don't allow black people to talk here. He's just here for identity politics. So
I'm a token black guy, man.
Imagine us having John, you can talk more. It's okay. John can interrupt and tell us to shut the fuck up whenever.
John's a big boy. He can fucking talk whenever he wants to. And it's ironic that you send that when we're 10 minutes deep in a random discussion about college football playoffs, as opposed to talking about any political bullshit. But speaking of political bullshit and drama, ESPN is a fucking mess. ESPN continues to be reeling from the Maria Taylor, Rachel Nichols fallout. Maria Taylor is now using this in every single way she can to benefit from this drama. She held onto this for the longest time till the NBA Finals. Then she had somebody on her team leak this stuff. Now Rachel Nichols has lost her job effectively because of Maria Taylor. She gets replaced by the person Maria Taylor wants, a black woman on the sidelines. ESPN is at the mercy of Maria Taylor because they've played this woke identity politics game.
Yeah, it's really, really sad that we've gotten to this point. And Rachel Nichols can get fucked. Well, I mean, she probably has a lot by NBA players, but she deserves this. She deserves this. ESPN deserves this. I have no sympathy for anyone involved. They get what they fucking deserve.
Yeah. The ESPN says that they're focusing on diversity and equity, and we know what that equity thing means. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, all of these former ESPN employees are coming out and trashing ESPN. Did you guys hear what Mike Hill said? No, Mike Hill. That was the worst.
Mike
what
Hill.
He said. Mike Hill, he was on SportsCenter from 2004 to 2013.
Yeah, Mike Hill's been pretty opinionated. I think I made a video about Mike Hill last year, but I haven't heard these latest comments.
He said that he didn't get promoted because he was too ghetto, and they called Stuart Scott also the ghetto guy or something like that. We made a video about it.
Yeah, I saw you guys' video.
That was just damning right there. That was really bad. If any of that is actually true. Now they want to show how virtuous they are now.
It's tough to believe any of that though. That's the problem. Is these guys are all playing victim as much as they possibly can. You see Jamel Hill saying it was clear they wanted black faces, but they didn't want black voices.
Yeah,
right. This is Jamel Hill.
But ESPN brought this upon themselves.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But with Mike Hill, I can't remember what it was. He made some comments years ago or last year about something, and I made a video on here roasting him. And I remember Mike Hill on ESPN, so I would like to hear. Okay, there it is, right there.
I don't believe this. I don't believe that he asked for a promotion, and an executive at ESPN said, "No, you're too ghetto for us."
Yeah,
Well,
again, I think John's point is right. Regardless of whether ESPN, and I don't believe it either, but they have created this victim mentality. They have created this culture, and now they're getting eaten alive by it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but by ESPN's own standard, we're supposed to believe black voices. Listen, don't challenge, right? So I'm supposed to believe black voices, ESPN. I can't challenge him because I, as a white person, I am not allowed to challenge Mike Hill and his experiences. I'm supposed to listen and believe, right? ESPN, you did this to your fucking self. And that's what's hilarious about it. But no, I don't believe this shit happened.
Yeah, he said the reason you're not moving up is because you're too ghetto. And he said they already have one of those, referring to Stuart Scott.
Man, I wish Stuart Scott was alive to confirm this.
He looks high as fuck here.
That
Doesn't he?
Happen. Yeah, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, like I don't believe that. Like I can believe that you feel like this is happening, like potentially, but I don't believe that.
Well, why doesn't he say what executive? Did he say what executive?
He said
he just said an executive. I never got the name.
This is from an executive up there, an old white man, Bud Morgan.
Oh, okay.
Bud Morgan. Did say the name.
Okay.
Oh.
So let's see who Bud Morgan is. That
He's
sounds like
an old white man.
It sounds like an old white man.
He's an old white man.
Like
I just maybe he was saying what he felt they said. Do you know what I mean? I have a really hard time believing anyone at ESPN said, "No, you're too ghetto. We already got one of those." You know
Guess what?
Bud
Morgan is dead.
What a shock.
Wow.
Yeah. Because Jeremy Schaap posted something in 2019.
I'm doing it right now. I just saw it right here. Yep.
Wow.
At 84 years old. So he's dead.
So we can't confirm that either.
Good Lord, man. Fucking bullshit.
He would wait till the man died to say this?
Yeah. Good Lord.
God, these fucking pieces of shit.
Yep.
But that's what it is. And, you know, John is 100% right. ESPN has done this to themselves. They have played this game. Rachel Nichols has kind of done this to herself as well. She's been one of these people that's out there virtue signaling, saying that black people deserve to have their voices uplifted, asking for social justice, asking for equity, asking for all these things from her fucking ivory tower. And then when something happens, when she might get one of her jobs taken away so that they can uplift a black voice, she says, well, not my job. What are you talking about? No. I like this job. I want this job. Find somewhere else. So when you play these woke games, this is what happens, right? This is what happens. And it's pathetic.
I still can't believe that this Mike Hill dude, he's bringing two dead people up in his victim narrative that can't confirm any of this. That is the definition of pathetic. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. What a piece of shit. Mike Hill is a piece of shit. Mike Hill from ESPN is a piece of shit. I have talked about this dude in the past. I can't remember what video it was, but I did call him out multiple times. These people are disgusting, dude. Wow.
Yeah. He's too disgusting for ESPN. That's how bad he is. Just like Jamel Hill.
Maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of hope that maybe this whole woke sports thing with ESPN will end one day because they are getting trash. Maybe the higher ups will now finally say, all right, guys, we're getting crushed on all this. Why don't we just stick to sports? Probably won't happen, though.
I felt like it was making that change when they fired Jamel Hill, right? Like I thought that might be where they realized that it was not a good look, that they were getting so much backlash for it. But then they kind of just doubled down on it. A lot of people now talk about the ESPYs. Like, Jeremy didn't even know the ESPYs was on last night. I didn't know until yesterday that they were on when I saw a couple people tweeting about it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the ratings because I don't think anybody fucking watched it. So I can't even really tell you. if the ESPYs were woke or full of identity politics because I missed the vast majority of it. I know that a certain female kicker from Vanderbilt was there.
Here's one thing that was during the ESPYs, which is pretty funny right here.
Ben Simmons took home a special ESPY for his humanitarian work. Yes. Not everyone knows this, but Ben Simmons has been building orphanages like this one completely out of his playoff bricks.
Oh, man.
What do you like to say, little ladies?
What the fuck?
That is savage. Wow.
That is really funny, actually.
Hey, little ladies.
Wow.
Dude.
ESPN making fun of a black man?
Dude, that is so cold.
Holy shit.
Cold as hell.
Wow, that was
wow. Wow.
Holy fuck, dude.
Shit.
Oh, there is one thing. Somebody in the comments brought it up. Brando, female Connecticut basketball player, went full woke. Yeah, she did.
UConn?
Yeah, UConn with her speech. I was reading it. She was basically saying that she plays in a predominantly black sport, but the media attention is quite different for her versus black players because she's white. So that's
so she felt bad about her white privilege, basically.
I guess something like that.
Yeah, how dare you give so much attention to people like Diana Taurasi or Breanna Stewart, two of the best female basketball players.
Yeah.
Why isn't more attention on the predominantly black people? Of course.
Yeah, when you think of women's NCAA basketball, you think of UConn, and that's pretty much it. I mean, Breanna Stewart was a great basketball player at UConn. Diana Taurasi may have been the best female women's basketball player in college ever. So they just so happen to be white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you think of UConn, you think of Baylor, you think of Notre Dame, you think of Tennessee from a long time ago.
You only think of Baylor
back
recently.
when Pat Summitt was there. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking Baylor the last 10 years, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't think about women's college basketball too much in general, but yeah, just as a point of my life, I don't really think about it too much. The Brother Man for $5 says, Sports Wars again, what do you think about CC Sabathia comments on him discriminating black players to not play baseball? I saw, I think Black and White made a video about that. I haven't had a chance to hear what CC Sabathia says. Can you give us a refresh on it, John?
Yeah, it comes down to it. He's trying to promote a memoir. Keep that in mind. So it seems a little bit like the Scottie Pippen route, but he's basically saying that MLB doesn't actually care about black players. So throughout his whole entire career, he felt like he was like only like one black person on the team, or if he went on the Indians, he had like 4 or 5. And I believe what it came down to is he was basically saying there isn't enough black people playing baseball. Mm-hmm. And he was kind of like putting that on MLB. But my take was, if you want to go down that route, MLB has prioritized Central and South America because it's a lot cheaper and they'll get black Cubans. So if you're just talking about, like black Americans, MLB is only like 3% of the players in the total game. But he didn't have a problem with this when he was making all this money in MLB. But now all of a sudden he's trying to sell a book. So now he's coming out right now because of, being a victim pays. That's the way I take it.
I got some breaking news for CC Sabathia. The MLB doesn't care about black players. They don't care about white players. They don't give a fuck about what your skin color is, even though they claim they do. They only care about people that can make them money. And whatever the fucking skin color is the skin color. They'll project and they'll tell you how much Black Lives Matter and how important representation and diversity is, but they don't really give a flying fuck. They'll just pretend that they care. But they don't care about any race or any gender or anything. They care about making money, but they also care about projecting, making them seem like they're more virtuous than they are. And that goes for all sports. And that's just the reality of the world we live in. So when we see these fucking companies and these sports, leagues claim how much they're for this and for that, that's why we have such a problem with it, because we know that that is objectively not true. We know that Roger Goodell doesn't give a single flying fuck about domestic violence. We know that for a fact. He'll tell you he does, and they love to have their causes and everything like that, but they don't give a shit. Nobody generally does. They don't care about this shit. Anybody who's preaching about it constantly doesn't really care about it. They're trying to project and hide something. That's why we get so frustrated, because we know that these fucking leagues don't give a shit. That's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, and this is not a new conversation. I've heard it for quite a long time. Some people getting upset that of the low percentage of black players in baseball. But you look at the NFL, you look at the percentage of black players in the NFL and the NBA. You know, is there anybody out there saying, what are they doing to reach out to the white community to get them more involved?
Yeah.
No, because everyone understands about talent, right? It's about talent, and part of that is the people that are interested in playing. And for Major League Baseball, we have seen, like you said, the reach out to the Central American, to the Dominican, to Cuba, like all these different places. Baseball is incredibly popular there. It's just part of their culture.
Mm-hmm.
And for people in the DR, it is, and Cuba, it is a way out of a life of poverty. You know, like that is what so many of them are focused on from a very young age. They have this dream of becoming a baseball player and bringing their family to America, getting them out of whatever they're in right now. You know, that's such a big part of it. And there's just not that same like level of like love or passion for the sport in most of the black community in America right now. And that's not, it's just what it is. Some of it's, you know, where you're growing up. Some of it's if you have room to go play baseball, right? With, you know, just some depends on where your population is. So it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. The MLB doesn't need to do anything else to get more black people involved. They just need to make a sport more entertaining. That's all that they need to do.
Yeah.
And,
I always said that the NBA was really kind of the fall of baseball in America, because when I was a kid, we played Little League baseball. This was around the time Jordan came. When Jordan came, kids abandoned the baseball field and they went to the basketball court because Michael Jordan, believe it or not, folks, the NBA was very unpopular in the 1970s. It was on tape delay, finals on tape delay. It got big when Magic and Bird started coming along. And that was the difference right there. And Jordan took it to another level. Yeah. Of course, you know, you had King Griffey Jr., you know, late 1980s, Barry Bonds. But think of this. If you can go outside, you can play basketball by yourself. You need people to play baseball with.
Correct.
That's very true.
That's exactly. Very true. And that's what
that's why I played more basketball as a kid, because you get a basketball goal, you can go out there and you can play that all by yourself. You can try to be like Mike, you can practice and all that stuff. Baseball, there's a lot more to it and more variables that go into it. And I played baseball too, but it was more so like when you got a group of people. That's a great point about basketball though.
Yeah, and that's, you know, like soccer, you know, kids just like will make a soccer ball out of shit, like out of fucking like crap, right? And they'll kick a ball around and they can have fun or whatever. That's why soccer's so prevalent across the world, regardless of what type of country you're in. But yeah, baseball requires some things, you know, that just is what it is. It's not a big deal. It's not something that's controversial, and CC Sabathia should shut the fuck up. Speaking of Yankees pitchers like CC Sabathia, I did want to talk about Garrett Cole. Now, Garrett Cole has been under a lot of fire lately for good reason, because when you look at Garrett Cole based on how he's been before they started checking for sticky stuff. So this is before they started checking for sticky stuff, 1.43 ERA in April, 2.18 ERA in May, and then all of a sudden in June, when they start actually checking for sticky stuff, which we know Garrett Cole has been using, his ERA over doubles, 4.65. A lot of people saw that, so he's been under a lot of criticism.
He mowed down the Astros yesterday.
He put on a clinic yesterday against the Astros, a dude who there's been a lot of eyes on him about his pitching, facing his former team in the Astros. And you don't see this a lot in Major League Baseball with pitch counts and everything. This is Garrett Cole refusing to leave the game. This is when Brett Boone comes out to talk to him. Look at Garrett Cole's reaction. After nearly 130 pitches, this is his reaction when he comes in to get taken out. This is Garrett Cole saying, I'm not fucking leaving. I'm staying in. I'm good. Get the fuck off this mound.
This was last night?
Yesterday? This is yesterday. This is yesterday.
Yeah, because it was a 1-0 game. So that's probably why they wanted to.
He pulled a
get him
Leo
out.
in Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah, basically. And he, he finished off a 3-hit shutout, which he needed.
Yeah.
He needed that for his psyche and everything.
And let me
Tyler
say this
says
about
Aaron Boone, not Brett Boone.
Yeah, sorry, yes, Aaron
Aaron
Boone.
Boone. And let me
Correct,
say this
yeah.
about Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is salty as hell, man. Salty as hell. He hit the home run, and then he did the thing like Jose Altuve did when Jose Altuve hit the home run to send Astros to the World Series. He is salty as fuck, man. Aaron Judge. I really don't like Aaron Judge, man. He just holds this grudge like, oh, the Yankees have never cheated before, even though we know they got busted with Apple Watches and all that. They can't beat the Astros, so he's salty.
He gets triggered every time he hears a trash can knocked together, John. But yeah, the whole cheating scandal and now this Spider Tech scandal, just more shit distracting Major League Baseball from being entertaining and being about fun and being about the game. So it is what it is. And yeah, so shout out to Garrett Cole for a good performance. I'm gonna rip him when I feel like he deserves to be ripped, but I gotta give him credit for something that's fucking badass. That's what baseball used to be like. When dudes would regularly go 130 if they were rocking and rolling instead of all this pitch count, third time through the order analytics stuff that they're doing nowadays. Not that doesn't have its place, because it does, but it's nice to see a dude just fucking alpha it out like that. So good for Garrett Cole. Marquez for $5 after he sent the super chat about John talking more. He says, "True, my bad. Come on, John." Thank you. Michael Songer for $5. What effect do you think will happen with NCAA players being allowed to make money off their name and likeness?
Like I said, I personally, I'm not thrilled about the idea from a fan standpoint, but I also think that, these guys do generate a lot of revenue for these universities. You can't argue that, but I think it's a very slippery slope, and I think it will probably be bad for college football, at least in the short run. But I guess we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, these guys get so many perks, being at these universities already. And again,
they generate a lot of fucking money.
Right? They
generate a lot of fucking money.
Julio was driving an Escalade around T-Town when he was at University of Alabama. It ain't like these players are hurting they're getting paid. You know what I mean? But
you look at what Barstool's doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, Barstool has all of a sudden signed a shit ton of college athletes. Yeah. I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing or how they're going to be a part of everything, but think of, for instance, think about if Sports Wars signed a college athlete. Now you're partnered with Sports Wars, buddy. What kind of criticism is that going to bring those athletes walking into a locker room? Do you know what I mean? So there's so many factors that go into this. I don't think any of us really understand what's going to happen.
Well, look, none of us do, and I'll leave that option open. I could be completely wrong. What I will say, we've had a couple of athletes reach out to us. We've had a couple of collegiate athletes reach out to us. So I don't know how that's going to play out, like, for the overall sport. I think it's going to be interesting. I have definitely thought about it a little more. And again, I get the argument. Fuck the NCAA, first of all. Like, the NCAA is corrupt as fuck. All right. That is a fact that we all know that's a fact. It's just weird, man, because it's just like, okay, if you're doing this, I just think back to, I can't help but to think back to the people like Tebow and Manziel. And I understand Johnny Manziel comes from a very wealthy family, but that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. There's a lot of people that come from wealthy families. Johnny Manziel on the field was a fucking superstar at Texas A&M. He would have made, and I'm not saying he didn't make money, but he would have made so much money. Tim Tebow would be, I mean, I can't even imagine how much money that dude would have made in college. Like, the numbers that dude would have generated for his own brand versus generating it for the University of Florida and the NCAA, it's astronomical. You know what I mean?
But, and, also, like in the case of Tebow, he's still benefiting from the NCAA, like from what he did, like from the platform that he had. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
And not to say he didn't do it, but it's an interesting thing. I don't think anybody really knows how this is going to all work out yet or how all play out. I will say, I know we have college athletes that watch us. I know we have people that watch us. If you're one of those people that's interested, reach out. Reach out to us. Give us some ideas of like what you think could happen.
Twitter
how you think
DMs
this
are
could
open
play
on,
out.
yeah. Twitter DMs are open for Geeks and Gamers. I don't know if it is for Sports Wars, but Ryan, you can open
It
those
is
up.
for me. Don't message Sports Wars. We never fucking do anything there. Message me.
Sure. Or Geeks and Gamers.
Or Geeks and Gamers. And yeah, we'll talk because we don't know how this is going to work, but we're always open to explore. And I think that getting in on the bottom floor of something is very interesting and could be pretty impactful. So let us know.
Yep.
Mike Hill for $5. I didn't realize I worked for ESPN. I must have been sleepwalking. Yeah, Mike Hill, a big supporter of the channels over here. Yeah, not you, Mike Hill. The other asshole, Mike Hill. That's who we're talking about. Let me refresh. I don't know if we got any Streamlabs today. We do have a Streamlabs from Bronx Slayer. In Major League Baseball, everything isn't just black and white. MLB retires the number 42 for Jackie Robinson, but I can say the same about Roberto Clemente, being the first Caribbean and first Latino American inducted in the Hall of Fame, retired the 21. Keep it equal/fair. And like Roberto Clemente is one of the most respected dudes in the game. And, like Sammy Sosa very famously wore 21, kind of in honor of Roberto Clemente. And that's a lot of guys you see with 21. I do think at some point it's like, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it, but it's just like, I don't know. You got to stop the honoring at some point, leave the numbers open, and just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But much respect for Roberto Clemente for sure. And thank you for the donation, Bronx Slayer.
Yeah.
But we have been going for over an hour, almost an hour and a half now. I think we are going to call it. Jeremy, what do we got going on at Geeks and Gamers?
I'm sharing my screen right now. So,
fuck.
We have Mario Kart tonight, and someone made this. Have you seen this, Ryan?
I have seen it. Yeah, I like this.
It's so good, man. So we got Mario Kart tonight on Twitch, Geeks and Gamers, and then Krista will be hosting on Gaming with Geeks because I'm still waiting for the internet company to come out here and fix my my internet. So I can't host a stream. I don't have enough power to host a stream because my router is all fucked up. But yeah, Mario Kart tonight, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be fun. Subscribe to Epic Game Clips. And Ryan, you know what, I'm gonna do it to you. So just because I found something, and
Slim for $5 while you're pulling that up. What's concerning about college athletes and millions of potential dollars that alone could bring huge problems, hometown agents, etc. Like, yeah, I just I don't inherently have a problem with college athletes getting paid, but I think that, like I mentioned before, you're gonna have like 18-year-old gymnasts opening OnlyFans and then like doing whatever they're doing and then being on the floor for University of Michigan or whatever. It's just, it brings in so many things that I don't think we even understand or prepared for. So it's going to be crazy. But
yep.
Yeah.
All right. I found the original right here.
That happened just then. Thank you.
You're welcome.
God.
Oh, damn it.
Jeez, man. A big thanks I hated for everything that just happened.
God! Fucking boomerang! God damn it! God! That's from so long ago.
Fucking boomerang!
Oh man, yeah. I need to figure out.
I'll make that clip available on Epic Game Clips a little bit later today after Krista makes a fucked up thumbnail for it. So,
and Blue-Eyed Scorpio for $5. How are they going to regulate the college pay? What if a booster gets an athlete to do a car commercial for $500,000 to go to a certain college? And that's the thing. Like already in Miami, of course, Miami's like the first place. A guy from Miami says he's going to give every single player on the Miami roster money to promote his gym. But one of the things that is in this policy is that, the compensation has to be like in line with the benefit that someone can bring. So if you're paying, say, $6,000 to promote your gym to the star quarterback, and you're also paying $6,000 to the backup long snapper, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know if that's within the rules. So it's just like, it's fucking complex, guys.
Complicated as hell. Complicated as hell.
Sounds like equity.
Yeah, like it's fucking weird, man. It's weird. John, what do you guys got going on in black and white other than changing camera angles?
Not a lot. My camera actually overheated. This is my Matt's camera right here, actually. Not a lot going on. We're gonna start live streaming during the week now. So we're not gonna be live streaming on Sundays anymore. We haven't nailed down a date yet. So that's pretty much it.
Road Rager for $5. When will John be doing Mario Kart races?
I don't think he plays Mario Kart.
I don't play games anymore.
He don't play video games. So.
I don't play games anymore. I used to have so many games as a kid, though.
He's too cool for that now.
But I love Mario Kart. I do.
Who doesn't love Mario Kart besides Ryan? Greatest game ever made. So.
I had the original.
Yeah, the OG, the SNES Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got that going on. So like I said, you guys go subscribe to Epic Game Clips, Geeks and Gamers. And we look forward to seeing you on Mario Kart tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of cussing, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. And wouldn't have it any other way.
That's how we fucking roll for sure. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Thanks for the super chats, the likes, the shares, the comments, the Streamlabs, everything. You guys are badass, and we are here because of you. So we'll be right back here next week. We'll talk to you later.